Does anyone watching this video drive a rear-wheel drive? You know, the kind of car that's rear wheels push onto the front wheels while driving is in motion? What's something you like about those cars? Is it the traction on the back wheels to give the vehicle more speed? Lower maintenance costs? Doing a better job at towing heavy stuff than the other drivetrains? Let me know in the comments, as I will personally be reading them in the comments section. Rear-wheel drives may be fun, according to some owners of the cars, but those cars have negatives that we should all be aware of. Rear-wheelers are not for everyone. Not a good drivetrain to start with, by the way, for those 5 purposes, so that's what I'm going to discuss. 5 reasons why you should not get a rear-wheel drive car. Number 1. Poor performance in bad weather. The bad weather, the slick roads, such as the wet roads, icy roads, or snowy roads, are the main disadvantage of the rear-wheel drive cars. If any of you watching this video drive a rear-wheel drive, you must make sure that the roads are dry before you go for a drive anywhere. If you are someone who wants to go for a drive so badly without any regards to the weather conditions on the road, then I wouldn't recommend driving a rear-wheeler. Here's why. During times when the roads are slick, if you drive on the road with a rear-wheel drive, then your vehicle will lose traction, causing it to drift out of control, which will increase the risk of an accident, and you definitely don't want to get in such a scene. So if you're someone whose job gives no damn about the slick roads, then I suggest that you don't get a rear-wheel drive. Get something like a front-wheeler at least. It should be safer. Number 2, they are pricey. Expect to spend over $25,000 if you're buying one of these cars, or at least over $35,000 if you're thinking about a rear-wheel SUV. Vehicles like that are designed for racing, so they are very pricey. If you cannot afford to buy that vehicle, or if it's not in your budget, then I suggest you start off with a front-wheeler instead, and then eventually buy a rear-wheeler once you've saved up enough money to your standards. Number 3, less interior space. Think about where the engine is located inside of a rear-wheeler. Some cars have it located in the front, some have it in the middle, and some have it in the back, right where the drive shaft is connected to in those cars. Think about the small spaces in the trunk. If you have a number of items that can take up more than the amount of space in your trunk, then I'd recommend something else. Rear-wheelers don't have as much leg room because of the space needed for the transmission tunnel and the drive shaft. And if you're claustrophobic enough that you find that to not be enough room for you, then the rear-wheel drive vehicles are definitely not for you. Number 4, fuel efficiency. High-performance rear-wheel drive cars require more fuel. Think about it. The power used for the rear wheels to push onto the front wheels will use more gasoline. If anyone travels for a living, like being an Uber or Lyft driver for instance, then I'd recommend at least a front wheeler for such a matter. Number 5, risk of oversteer. Due to the greater acceleration in rear wheelers compared to the front wheelers, the risk of oversteering is higher in rear wheelers. If you go too fast and approach a cornered road or a curved road, due to the power on the back wheels, the reaction of the vehicle will affect the back wheels if you accelerate too hard at such a road where you must turn your wheel, and it will risk you of oversteering. Even easing your foot off the gas pedal or applying the brake too late will risk you of an oversteer, highly. So if you have no idea on how to fight off the risk of oversteering, then I suggest that you don't get a rear-wheeler. That concludes the 5 reasons not to get a rear-wheel drive kind of car. If anyone watching this plans on buying a rear-wheel drive, I would advise you to show yourself awareness of the negatives I've listed in this video and think about the possibilities of coming across them. If you have anything I left out, write it down in the comments. Yet again, I will read those comments in the comments section. Most of these reasons I listed advise you to get a front-wheel drive instead, but some other reasons, like the number 1 and number 3 reasons, for example, also advise you get, as well as a front-wheeler, either a 4-wheel drive or an all-wheel drive. Speaking of which, my creator and narrator, Rainy Kleiner, happens to drive an all-wheeler from outside of my world, the world where you viewers are watching this video from. Anyways, for more content on the Master Rainy channel, hit subscribe and ring the bell for notifications, which you'll be notified about the release of the 69th video of the Master Rainy channel by then. Thanks for watching, everyone. This is Master Rainy now signing off. Oh, if you drive a rear-wheel drive, are any of you into racing? Let me know in the comments. But until then, see you next time.